Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Baha Hashem, Yahweh Shah, Baha Hashem, Barak Badash. All praises, honor, glory, love, respect, faith, and power, and trust, and all credit to my Heavenly Father Yahweh and my Heavenly Big Brother Yahweh Shah. Thank you so much for what you've done, what you're doing, and what you're going to do. Double honors to the apostles and elders and bishops of GMS, Great Millstone, who I learned from, and all the men scattered all over the world, teaching this truth and none but the truth in the name, spirit, and the power of Yahweh by Shema Shah. Trying to put a spiritual bug in you Hebrew Israelites' ears, you so-called blacks, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, and you speckled birds. And what is a speckled bird? That'd be a Hebrew Israelite that look like some of the heathen nations, like, for example, a Hebrew Israelite that look like a so-called white person, so-called Chinese person, etc., etc. Got some videos lined up about AI. I'm going to play these videos. I'm going to get into the scripts my best ability, say whatever God say through the spirit of power, Yahweh by Shema Shah, the Holy Spirit, the Krahak Badash, Lord willing be on me. Let's get it.
A Pizza Hut franchise filed an $100 million lawsuit claiming that an AI system, one that the parent company mandated across its restaurants, destroyed its business. Delivery times doubled, customer satisfaction collapsed, pizzas sat on metal racks going cold for up to 20 minutes before a driver bothered to pick them up. The AI system responsible was called Dragontail, and it was specifically designed to make sure that never happened. Its creators literally described it as a super manager, an algorithm that would ensure there is never a situation where the meal is waiting on the bench waiting for the driver to show up. The super manager's first act of management was to create the exact situation it was specifically designed to prevent, which, to be fair, does make it sound like a real manager. In this video, I'm going to look at two cases where AI deployment went badly wrong and cost companies enormous amounts of money, reputation, and trust, and I'm going to unpack who is actually at fault, because the answer might not be what we expect. I'm Elle, I have a PhD in computer science, and I analyze AI developments to understand what's actually happening beneath the hype. But before anyone assumes this is an anti-AI video, it is not. I think AI is a genuinely powerful set of tools, and I think companies should be using it. What I want to examine is something more specific. What happens when companies treat AI as a replacement for human judgment instead of an enhancement of it, and why the consequences of getting that wrong extend far beyond the companies themselves. So, what exactly did Pizza Hut do? In 2021, Yum Brands, the parent company of Pizza Hut, KFC, Taco Bell, and Habit Burger and Grill, acquired an Australian AI company called Dragontail Systems for approximately $72 million. It was their third technology acquisition that year. Dragontail's product was, on paper, exactly what a delivery-focused pizza chain would want, an end-to-end AI platform that manages the entire journey from order to delivery. The algorithm sequences kitchen orders, times when each pizza should go into the oven, plans delivery routes, combines order by geographic proximity, and dispatches drivers all automatically. It also includes an AI camera system called QT that monitors food preparation quality in real time, checking for toppings, temperature, even cleanliness, that sort of thing. The pitch to franchises was very straightforward. Dragontail replaces the coordination work that a human shift manager currently does. Instead of a person juggling kitchen timing, driver availability, and order prioritization in their heads, an algorithm does it faster and more accurately. The system was marketed as the super manager, and Yum mandated its deployment across Pizza Hut restaurants, folding it into their broader proprietary tech platform called Byte by Yum, which launched in February 2025 and now covers roughly 38,000 restaurants globally.
It's official, we've ended the era of self-securing software with Aikito's infinite agentic AI.
Now, one of the franchises that received this mandatory upgrade was Choc Pizza Northeast, an operator running 111 Pizza Hut locations across New York, New Jersey, Maryland, Washington, D.C., and Pennsylvania. Before Dragontail arrived, Choc was one of Pizza Hut's strongest performers, double-digit sales growth, guest satisfaction scores above the system average, and critically, more than 90% of their pizza deliveries arrive within 30 minutes. That number matters, remember it. So what happened when the super manager showed up? Here's where most coverage of the story says the AI broke and just moves on, but if you actually read the lawsuit, the mechanism is far more interesting and far more instructive than a simple malfunction. Choc Pizza is a delivery-only and carry-out operation. It does not employ its own delivery drivers. It relies entirely on DoorDash. Before Dragontail, Choc's managers manually entered orders into the DoorDash tablet. They controlled which drivers received which orders. They could block poorly rated drivers from accepting deliveries. They managed the timing between kitchen output and driver pickup through direct human coordination. It was not exactly glamorous. It was not cutting edge, but it worked demonstrably, measurably. 90% of deliveries on time worked. Dragontail changed the information environment. The system integrated with DoorDash's platform and gave drivers something they had never previously had: real-time visibility into kitchen operations. Drivers could now see when specific pizzas were going into the oven and when they would come out. They could see tip amounts before accepting a delivery. They could see whether orders were cash transactions. Now ask yourself a question. If you were an independent gig worker, paid per delivery, optimizing for your own hourly earnings, and you could suddenly see that another pizza would be coming out of the oven in 8 minutes, and it
They had information on everything.
was going to the same neighborhood as the one already sitting on the rack, what would you do? You would wait. And that's exactly what happened. Dragontail gave gig workers perfect information and then was surprised when they used it perfectly. This is the AI equivalent of handing somebody a map to your vault and being shocked when they show up. DoorDash drivers began waiting inside or near the store for up to 15 minutes to batch multiple deliveries together. They cherry-picked orders based on tip visibility. Cash orders got deprioritized. The lawsuit uses a phrase that I think is technically precise and quietly devastating. Dragontail invited stacking and other algorithmic behaviors that significantly slowed service time. The result was that rack time, the time a finished pizza sits waiting before a driver collects it, went from under 5 minutes to as much as 20 minutes. Average delivery time went from 30 minutes to more than 45. Only approximately 50% of orders were delivered within 30 minutes. Remember that 90% figure from before? Cut almost in half. The super manager took a system that was working 90% of the time and optimized it down to 50%. It sounds like a downgrade with a press release, doesn't it? And there was a compounding layer. Simultaneously with the Dragontail rollout, Pizza Hut centralized its DoorDash contract, taking it away from individual franchises and moving it to a national agreement. So Chalk lost its direct relationship with DoorDash. It lost the ability to block underperforming drivers. It lost the informal management tools that had made the 90% delivery rate possible. The AI replaced the human coordination layer, and the parent company simultaneously removed the human fallback options. So here's the question I want to sit with for a moment. Did the AI malfunction? No, the algorithm did not crash. It did not miscalculate routes. It did not sequence orders incorrectly. What it did was change the information environment in a way that created new incentive structures for the human actors in the system. Dragontail assumed all participants would behave as inputs to its optimization model. The DoorDash drivers behaved as what they actually are, independent economic agents optimizing for their own earnings. Two optimization systems, Dragontail's algorithm and DoorDash's gig economy marketplace, were connected without anyone modeling how they would interact. And the result was an emergent behavior that neither system was designed to produce. In computer science, this is a well-understood category of problem. When you connect independently optimizing systems without modeling their interactions, you get outcomes that no individual component intended. It is a systems design failure, and more fundamentally, it is a business strategy failure. Someone at Yum Brands made the decision to mandate an AI system across a franchise network that included operators exclusively dependent on third-party gig delivery drivers without testing whether the...
That's what I was guessing. They didn't test it out. But they rushed in to do it and just went ahead and just did it. Anyway.
algorithm's assumptions held in that specific operating environment. I think...
I'm going to stop right there because damn, the rest of the video is 10 more minutes left in this shit. I'm going to play about 8 minutes of it. Really 8 minutes. It moved about, I think it's about 5 minutes in because I sped the video up. But I'm going to stop right there. If you want to watch the rest of it, be my guest. They go to title, they go to channel. So another fuck up for AI. Let's get to the next one. But it's really human error. Well, shit on both. It's fuck up on both sides. Anyway, next video.
This project is obviously going to make a lot of money for some people, but what about its environmental effects? The proposed 10 gigawatt data center will match the energy footprint of an atomic bomb every 52 minutes. That's a huge amount of heat.
So now I want to talk about the data centers. So you've been making some posts about the data center. Let me play your video.
Hello, this is Tony Hiller from RealClimateScience.com. I live in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and this story is big news around here. Wyoming County approves construction of what could become the largest data center in the United States. Project J could eventually use the same amount of electricity as produced by 10...
Wyoming County? I thought the largest they trying to build is in Texas. Well, anyway.
Nuclear power plants.
So this is in Wyoming? But it's Wyoming County?
Cheyenne to host massive AI data center using more electricity than all Wyoming homes combined. An enormous data center in Wyoming will consume 5 times more power than the state's people. The owner remains a mystery. This project is obviously going to make a lot of money for some people, but what about its environmental effects? The proposed 10 gigawatt data center will match the energy footprint of an atomic bomb every 52 minutes. That's a huge amount of heat. We should ask the question, how do they intend to dissipate that heat without causing major environmental problems? Let's take a look at other industries which generate a lot of heat, like steel mills. Steel mills are typically placed near large bodies of water, like this one at Gary, Indiana. It is located right on the edge of Lake Michigan. The heat generated at the steel mill is carried away by the water. This keeps the air temperatures in the region from rising significantly. This photo shows another energy-intensive industry. It's the Rawhide coal-fired power plant located just south of the border from Wyoming in Colorado. I took this photo during the record cold of Valentine's Day 2021, the same day when Texas froze. The solar panels in the foreground were covered with snow and they weren't generating any electricity. Northern Colorado is completely dependent on this coal plant for their power that day. The plant is cooled largely by evaporating water. Water evaporating out of the smokestack directly cools the equipment. And water evaporating off of this lake removes almost all of the remaining heat. Note that the water is evaporating even in very cold air. Water is incredibly efficient at removing heat. The amount of heat which water can hold is more than 3,000 times higher than an equivalent amount of air. The amount of heat which will increase the temperature of water by 2 degrees Celsius would increase an equivalent amount of air by 7,000 degrees. That would raise the temperature of the air to hotter than the temperature on the surface of the sun. The point being that water is very efficient at removing heat, but air certainly is not. The problem we've got here in Cheyenne is that we don't have much water. The western U.S. is experiencing the worst springtime drought on record. Cheyenne gets almost all of its water supply from snowmelt. And as of yesterday, none of the mountain locations which Cheyenne gets its water supply from had any snow. Additionally, we had the warmest start of the year on record, with temperatures nearly 10 degrees above normal. There's very little or no water available to cool this massive new data center being built. This means the data center will have to be cooled by radiating the heat off into the air. But as we've already seen, air is very inefficient at removing heat. So how are they planning on getting rid of this heat equivalent to one atomic bomb every 52 minutes? To put this heat flow in perspective, this is equivalent to all of the solar radiation received in Cheyenne during the winter. When the air is still during winter and summer, this is going to have a major effect on the temperatures in the Cheyenne area. The sun only warms the land up for a limited number of hours every day, but the data center never turns off. This graphic generated by Gemini shows what the temperatures on Earth would be if Earth's day length was 72 hours instead of 24. The sun provides a tremendous amount of heat to the Earth, and the only reason we can survive it is because our days don't last very long. If days lasted for 72 hours instead of 24, the middle of the day would be unbearably hot and nights would be unbearably cold. But the data center never turns off, so we never get a break from its heat. There's a similar data center being planned in Utah, where they're also having a very bad drought. Scientists are very worried that it could create a massive heat island near the Great Salt Lake. We have the largest weather and climate supercomputing center right here in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Before rushing into this project, which could have a very bad effect on our weather, wouldn't it be a good idea to do some modeling and find out exactly what the effects are going to be? They are rushing into these projects without doing a proper environmental assessment. And regardless of the weather effects of the data center, they're having a terribly bad effect on the local community. Huge areas of land are being converted into hideous 4-story apartment complexes which look like prisons. Apparently these are needed to house the construction workers. The outlying areas of Cheyenne are known for their large lots and houses spaced widely apart. And this land is being replaced by high-density and hideously ugly apartments. The social impact of these projects is huge, and all of these people they're bringing in are using more water, which we don't have. 250 years ago, the United States was founded on the principle of consent of the governed. But we were never given a vote on this. Tucker Carlson recently confronted Kevin O'Leary about this. O'Leary made the argument that his project was approved by a small commission. And Tucker Carlson responded, how hard is it for Kevin O'Leary and Amazon and Microsoft to corrupt 3 county commissioners? The people of Utah and Wyoming deserve to have a proper environmental assessment done. We deserve to know the facts of what's actually going on. And the Declaration of Independence gives us the right to choose our own destiny. And there's another dark side to this story. Instead of doing a real environmental assessment of the impact of this project, they are hiding behind the global warming scam. They want the public to believe that if they sequester the carbon from their generators, everything's going to be okay. But the problem isn't imaginary heat from global warming, it's the very real heat coming from their generators and from their data center. Besides what I've talked about in this video, there's another very big question as to what these giant data centers are being used for, but I'll save that for a different video.
I mean, you know what it's going to be used for. You know. Goodness gracious.
I run a podcast solo. No producer, no editor, no tech skills, just Riverside.
Okay, so there's been a lot of pushback recently. There's been a video going around. I want to. This doesn't seem sustainable, Tony. I want to show you. I'm going to show a video in a second, but you're right. They're not doing the modeling. They're not. This seems like they're engineering a man-made engineered real, not climate change, but a man-made engineered catastrophe. Again, am I overstating this? And why are they doing this?
Yeah,
because they are the wicked. They're Edomites. I remember he said. Edomites. He said like they're Edomites.
you may well be right. It may well be a catastrophe. And without the modeling, we don't really have any
And then he says Amalek.
way of knowing that.
Yeah, they're the wicked. Esau, Amalek, they are the wicked. They the same motherfucking people. They all come from the seed of Esau, and they all the wicked. And why they doing it? Because they just wicked as fuck. They trying to pull out. They trying to build up their new world order. We're using AI and building up their centers to get the data and control AI and all this other shit. And anyway, bruh, we got to get the fuck out of here.
It might be that with the prevailing winds, a lot of the heat will get carried away and it won't be a problem. But when the air is still, there's the potential to raise temperatures tremendously. When a study by a professor in Utah said it can raise temperatures by 16 degrees, which would be catastrophic. It would melt all the snow here. We've already got a problem with not enough snow, and it's hard to say, but we definitely need that modeling. We need a proper environmental assessment. And the reason it's not happening is because the Trump administration is pushing through these data centers, limiting. I just saw a press release from the White House that they want to push them through really quickly and ignore the normal environmental impact statement process.
I mean,
They don't give a fuck. They talk about you average people polluting so much. Clearly, these niggas are doing the worst. And they always been. These niggas need to go, man. They're fucking up the planet.
This is the kind of thing that leads to a revolution.
And hey, they bringing they getting kicking you regular ass Edomites ass. Your own people fucking you up. You can't blame this shit on us, nigga. Oh no, you niggas can't blame this shit on the so-called blacks, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians. Nah, you blame it on yourself.
Like this really does. Like, so, you know, I don't encourage violence, but I just encourage people to remember how this country was founded when the
founded by violence. You know, and rape, rob, and murder.
When the ruling class was unresponsive to the citizens, George Washington picked up a gun and started shooting people. That's how this country was founded. When the ruling elite was unresponsive like this to the citizenry, George Washington and a bunch of people picked up guns and started shooting people. People forget that, okay? And we do have a Second Amendment here. And I'm not advocating. I would never advocate people do violence. I'm just trying to warn people that is a very potential thing that could happen. Do you worry about something like that?
Well, Kevin O'Leary said the other day that he's worried.
Well, yeah. And Larry Flink, he said he worried too. They might attack the damn data centers with some drones, no matter how much they cost. And you can see they're gonna probably have something on the news or some false flag event they're gonna set up related to something like that. But they have to pass a law to restrict people from. They got to be 300 yards away from a data center, maybe 3 miles away from a data center. I don't know. But anyway,
The people are going to make drones that are going to come in and destroy his data center.
yeah, well, just like I was talking about.
And I think that is actually a very real possibility.
Hey, come see me on tour in Atlanta, Raleigh, Spokane.
Oh, yeah, that video that done that fast. But yeah, let me see. Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. When the righteous be in power, we don't need no fucking data centers. Hell, our minds will be our data centers. The righteous elite of Yahweh Shema Shah, the 144,000. We gonna be the data center. Oh my God, and Yahweh and Yahweh Shah gonna be data centers. Shit. No, I would say. I just say the elect of Israel, gonna be data centers, because we gonna have everybody's thoughts in our minds. All these heathens, we gonna know what everything they think of and what they about to do and all this other shit. We gonna be the new data centers. But meanwhile, Esau wanna have that power that we gonna. Well, I don't say we, but that power that Yahweh and Yahweh Shah have. I'll say it like that. I should be saying it like that anyway, because Yahweh and Yahweh Shah first. But they want that harness that power that Yahweh and Yahweh Shah have by gathering up people's information and trying to I guess get the technology to be able to know what the people are thinking of too, especially with the brain implants. But anyway, that's when the wicked bear fruit. But when the wicked bear fruit, the people mourning. And look what's going on right now. People are mourning. They're fucking up the environment. I don't know what else to tell you, man. These niggas need to go, man. Everything's fucked up. Next video. What's going on in Russia?
Dear friends, I'm delighted to welcome you all. Today we'll be talking about the news of artificial intelligence, which continues to take over humanity. Whether we like it or not, whether we believe in it or not, it's unfolding before our very eyes. And the most frightening thing is that today, and we've already reached a point where healthcare is practically being taken away from us, metaphysics. We've reached a point where all healthcare is for mere mortals, and in the near future,
Yeah, it sounds like she got a better than AI dub English translator now. Cause the last one she was using sound, it was just too slow. And this one here is a little bit faster.
it will be entrusted to artificial intelligence. Doctors as such will disappear altogether, and what remain are chatbots that will treat us. And this is our reality, which is practically of the rest of the world, and is produced in the Russian Federation. As strange as that may seem, okay, Europe is even lagging behind yet. So what are they writing in Russia about this? This is a very telling point. So the burden on doctors will be reduced with the help of artificial intelligence. There are supposedly few doctors, a shortage of them, and therefore, of course, we need to reduce the workload and ensure that artificial intelligence, rather than doctors, serves the population. This means diagnosis for Russians. Neural networks will be making diagnoses. Let's rather switching doctors the word and in Russian to reduce the paper burden on doctors. Neural networks will also help doctors translate speech into text, shorten text, and analyze patient records, the department noted. The thing is, I'm still completely unclear whether there are any legislative acts, whether there are any laws, and I'm sure there aren't any yet that will, so to speak,
And that remind me of Idiocracy. And his ass go to the hospital, and it's two rods, metal rods. I don't know. One goes in the mouth, it says, but then we put one in the mouth. It says put the other one in your butthole. He was like, well, which one goes where? Because they ain't got no labels on that shit. He was like, get that shit out of here. And he had AI to tell if you sick or not by doing it that way, by putting a metal rod in your mouth and the one up in your booty. And shit, the AI determines if you sick or what you sick from. Anyway, yeah, they getting rid of all these deep jobs, man. Doctors and all that shit. Shit.
Explain to us whose fault it is if artificial intelligence makes an incorrect diagnosis.
And a lot of these doctors, they just in for a paycheck. A lot of these niggas misdiagnose you just to get a fucking paycheck. And a lot of these niggas tell to get the vaccine shots. And look what happened. A lot of these niggas getting paid for telling people to get recommended to get the vaccine shots. Heck yeah. You can't trust these motherfuckers. And they say that shit. The number one killers. Yeah, they would say the number one killers in the world be how they say? I guess number one killers be a doctor. Now you got some doctors that really take care of people's shit. But then some they're not. And I forgot what does doctor mean. Falsify? Well, some brothers say they falsify their professionals when it comes to falsifying lies or making up lies. I don't know. I can't remember. But anyway.
And a person is operated on or otherwise harmed for a disease they don't have or something like that, or, well, isn't cured or treated incorrectly for the wrong disease, who will be held accountable? What systems will protect people if everything, even such an important decision as diagnosis, is delegated to artificial intelligence? So far, no one has answered this question for us.
Well, if artificial intelligence misdiagnosing people, hell, that's no different from an actual human being. But yeah, well, anyway.
Yes, the news from Russia is simply shocking about this.
A lot of these motherfuckers don't know shit. A lot of these actual human doctors don't know shit.
So I'm reading another piece of news. So AI has begun to surpass doctors' incompetence. So the Russian media is seriously trying to convince us that, well, why do you even need doctors if ours have long been superior in competence? Man. Calm down. You don't need healthcare at all.
Okay, this shit is annoying. Okay, I don't want to hear this no more. The translation. I missed the old version of it because it was slow. This one here is like trying to. I don't know. Anyway, let's get to it. If you want to watch the rest of the video, be my guest. They go to title up. They go to channel. But like I say, they're using what it says. Russian authorities decide to replace doctors or human doctors with AI neutral network with diagnosed Russians. Everybody gonna be doing the same thing. All these countries. Yeah, I'm right. And they gonna need to put a damn rod in your mouth and your booty hole just to determine what's wrong with your shit. Or no, a microchip implant. Yeah. That's going to be number one, how they can really determine what's wrong with you. If you're sick, if you caught something like a virus, they'll know. Shit. Nigga, please.
But consider the concern. So if you're rolling out...
And I mean, with all this AI shit, that's what they want you to be connected to the system. They're like Elon Musk say, in order to be, especially competing with AI, especially keeping a job. In order to keep up with AI, you gotta be one with AI. And how you be one with AI? The chip implants, the mark of the beast.
Out what they're telling you, and clearly they believe, is the single greatest technological change in the history of human life on this planet. It's the biggest thing that's ever happened, ever. Then you think one of your main concerns would be, well, does this change the relationship of the powerless to the powerful? The relationship of the citizen to the state, for example. One of your concerns would be, how do we do this and bring about the prosperity that it promises without totally eliminating human rights, making people slaves? Because we're against slavery, right? Aren't we against slavery? We were. How do we do that? But that doesn't seem to be Larry Fink's main concern. His main concern is how do we protect our investment, this infrastructure, these buildings, these data centers. Someone could drone them. Someone could drone them. Now who? Foreign actors? Hezbollah? Hamas? No, just people. Larry Fink is concerned that ordinary American citizens, as he just said, will use $3,000 drones to destroy these billion-dollar investments. Why would he be worried about that?
Well, I'll tell you why he would be worried about that, and that is because data centers are taking up people's resources. Recently, Lake Tahoe, Nevada Energy, Nevada's main utility, has told Liberty Utilities, which serves about 49,000 residents around Tahoe, that it will stop supplying them power after May of 2027 because it needs that capacity for data centers in northern Nevada.
I mean, causing blackouts. Oh, yeah. And then using up the grid power, so sometimes, like, certain areas might need water pumps to bring water to your homes or apartments. They cut that out too. Oh yeah, and also your sewage. They need pumps. You need electricity to run those pumps. To pump sewage. I don't know how everything gonna work out, but hey, that's what they get ready for some shit.
So that is taking energy, electricity, away from residents of Nevada to give it to data centers. And it's not just the electricity that's at risk, it's also water. There's an uprising going on in Arkansas, a small community there that...
Goddamn uproars of the people. It's got to get big, bro. Because these Americans, they protest over stupid shit. Let's see if they're going to protest about something that's very critical and necessary, like electricity and water, food. Yeah, because it's going to affect the food, too. Because your food is in the refrigerator. Stuff that you got some food that's in the cabinet, but you got food that need to be frozen, or in the refrigerated. When they turn the power off, there goes your food.
is worried that their water resources will be used for data centers. Data centers drink loads and loads of water per day, really per minute. They use about 17 billion gallons of water annually so far, with expectations that this demand will at least double or even quadruple as AI-driven computing expands. So lots of areas where they're thinking about sticking these data centers, which are places like Nevada, places like Phoenix that are already arid deserts with very few water resources, the data centers are booming. And people are worried that their water resources are going to be diverted to data centers, and with good reason. Because when Lake Tahoe's energy says, you know what, people, I know there's 49,000 of you, but we have a better deal making money off of the data centers. We're going to supply them with energy. Well, that, I think, is what would cause people to eventually riot, uprise, and maybe drone these data centers or destroy them in some way as an act of rebellion to get rid of them in order to gain their resources back. This feels it does feel matrixy, right? I mean, this does feel dystopian, like all of our resources as humans are going to be used for the computers, and the computers that are smarter than us, and now even some are saying might have consciousness. People are now debating whether or not AI has consciousness. We are living in a movie. And so these robots with consciousness will realize they need the water, they need the electricity to live, and they see us needing water and electricity to live, and they probably look at us and say, yeah, but you guys are parasites because you cause a lot of war and problems and damage according to our logical, analytical, computing brains, and so we've got to get rid of you. You're basically a cockroach. And so, yeah, I could see why there could be uprisings, why Larry Fink would be worried about people, regular people, not terrorists, regular people, well, of course, being labeled as terrorists, because that would be the next natural step. But really, truly scary. I think many people have been very worried about data centers, just the amount of land they eat up, the amount of water resources they eat up. But this brings a whole nother level to the conversation, finding out that our utility companies are actually considering diverting resources to these facilities instead of to residents. That is quite shocking. And it's not just that aspect of it. Data centers also cause potential physical health harm. They have...
Man, it was just that video talking about they heating up shit. What they said, it's going to be like I don't know, 5 times hotter than a nuclear bomb. I don't know how they said it, but it's going to get hot if you around those areas. And shit, probably if you like a quarter mile or probably a mile away from that bitch, you might feel a increase of temperature from the normal. I don't know. No. Without the data center, it'll be like probably a 5, 10, 20 degree increase. The closer you get, it increases when you feel the heat of that data center. Anyway, but we got to get out of here. This place sucks, man. Esau's an absolute nigger. The true fucking nigga.
Have a lot of LED lights at night. There's toxins in the water. There's sound issues.
I mean, this nigga just fucks up every fucking thing. And meanwhile, you got some of you assholes, you fucking fake ass satanic Christians out there finger pointing the Hebrew Israelites. No, the black Hebrew Israelites. Yeah, I was watching that bullshit. They got the full video, but I didn't watch the whole day. I ain't watch that fucking shit. I watched the short of it, the preview of what is it on Sean Ryan's show, and he got that little nigga. He could be let's just say he a Edomite. What's that nigga name? Bryce Crawford. And talking about the Hebrew Israelites is a hate group. They're like close to the KKK, but nigga, when did you hear about the Hebrew Israelites killing and burning buildings and shit, killing people, hanging people, lynching people, dragging them on by pickup trucks and shit, pulling them from limb to limb with horses and shit, or vehicles and shit? Where you heard that from? I mean, have you ever heard of a Hebrew Israelite doing something like? Nope. Burning crosses? Nope. Nope. It be Edomites that's doing that shit, nigga. And look what these niggas are doing. They fucking poison the earth, the air, the food. They genetically modify. They trying to recreate air, bro. Get the fuck out of here, nigga. These niggers need to be stopped.
There's even a possibility that your next door neighbor could stick a data center in their backyard. Joining us now to discuss is Razi Ann Berry. She is the founder and publisher of the NDNR Journal of Applied Natural Medicine. That is the Naturopathic Doctor News and Review Journal of Applied Natural Medicine. And she has been a great clinical resource for doctors and patients since 2005 with that journal. She is joining us now. Razi, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the
do all this polluting just to get your fucking information. And to know how you behave. Basically know you. The super pseudo way. This is such garbage. Just do all this shit but it's all vain. It ain't gonna last long. I hate this. I hate you fucking niggers. I hate you Edomites and you Amalekites. You niggas are so destructive. Not all you are destructive, but the ones that's pushing this shit, y'all niggas are destructive.
show.
Kim, thank you so much for being willing to have this conversation.
Well, I think data centers right now, people are starting to become more and more concerned. They're like, what exactly are these data centers? We hear they drink a lot of water. They take a lot of energy. People are worried about living next to them. We hear that they're eating up farmland. I think the best thing to start off is explain to us, like, what are these? In my mind, I'm envisioning a giant, huge warehouse full of computers. I mean, is that what they are?
That's exactly right. That's why I call them server farms, because it's just thousands and thousands upon thousands of servers that store and process the data we use every day, even in the conversation that we're having right now, or in...
Yeah, but it's not like it is now. Back 5 years ago, there wasn't so many of them being built up. Now it's like, they being built up like Walmarts. They just throwing up data center here, down a data center there. And it's not about trying to make your internet faster or your processing it's more to it. And I get tired of talking about that shit. I just be like, man, fuck that. It feel like when I talk more about what the data center is gonna be benefiting, it seems like I'm trying to sell you some shit. I don't know.
Using AI. And so I'm not anti-technology, but there are some concerns even on top of what you've just been speaking about with the water use, the eminent domain of the land, and the sound bothering people. And I'd like to...
More than ever, the sound. Anyway, I'm going to stop right there. If you want to watch the rest of the video, they go to title, they go to channel. I'm going to move on to the next one because it's about the same. Well, you got my Larry Faggot Flink or Red Pink. I don't know his last name. But he's talking about him want to try to, you want to talk about some data centers could be under attack, so we got to be prepared for it. I don't know how, but anyway.
Larry Fink is concerned that ordinary American citizens, as he just said, will use $3,000 drones to destroy these billion-dollar investments. Why would he be worried about that?
Here's Larry Fink. Now, if you don't know who Larry Fink is, he's Dr. Evil. He's the guy who runs the world. He's the head of BlackRock, and they're the people who own everything, right? And so the idea that communism is bad because you don't get any choice and there's one central place that makes everything, well, it's amazing how capitalism and communism ended up in the exact same place, because you don't have, you get 40 different choices of cereal, but you have owners. So there's only 3 companies that own everything. It's BlackRock, it's State Street, and it's Vanguard, and they're the equity people, and he's one of them, and he's more powerful than presidents. Donald Trump, he's his boss. This guy, so that...
Yeah, he's a small header too.
Doesn't, by the way, that doesn't happen in China. China, the billionaire capitalists are not above the politicians. In America, the billionaire capitalists are above the politicians. In China, that doesn't happen. They have capitalism, but
they have mass immigration.
But they have, but the government is above them, and that they put.
I believe that China politicians got more control than but not no more control than the bankers. Yeah.
That's not. It's the exact opposite here. Okay, and
that's why they're our enemies, supposedly, because these billionaires can't believe.
That's right.
That the state could come down on a billionaire.
That's right. They can't believe it. But here he is, and he's going to tell you that they're building these AI data centers for surveillance, so they can, when you step out of line, so they're going to give you a UBI, right? So they're going to cut your jobs, right? So your jobs are gone. You go to college, you're going to be saddled with.
Don't just forget about UBI. No, they're going to give you a chip implant, and then they'll give you UBI if they feel like it. And meanwhile, you got that chip implant feeling miserable and feel like you lost your damn soul, especially if you once was worshiping the Lord, worshiping Yahweh Shema Shah, you've been disconnected, then a missile gonna come and kill your ass. And I hope I don't be that person. You better hope and pray you don't be that person. But anyway.
Mountains of debt, you're not able to afford a house. Plus, now your job is going to be taken away by an AI machine and an AI data center, and so that's the cherry. That's hey, you graduated college, no job, and so now what he's going to do, and then they built all those ICE prisons. They didn't build them for immigrants. They built them for you if you now are ready to revolt, right? And
yeah, and it's funny, they talk a lot about this shit on that TV show, The Boys. And the concentration camps, or they had them people locked up in them camps, and what they call them, the starlighters. They're locking up starlight. No, you locking up Americans. You locking up anybody, the citizens or the people, undocumented citizens. You locking up anybody. Shit. Yeah. And then what they were doing, they were killing people that were supporters of they believe that Homelander is God. Yeah, they were going on with that shit, talking about this nigga here is he's the second and the first coming, and plus he's now Jeebus, which Jeebus is a fucking clown, but he claimed he's the Lord now, Helllander, and nigga end up getting his brain split open by a crowbar. But anyway, that was some gruesome ass shit. Oh well, it's gonna be gruesome as hell when all hell break loose in this bitch.
So now he knows people are ready to revolt, especially against AI data centers, and he's afraid they're going to start bombing them.
Yeah.
He's afraid.
And you know what? He's right. He's most certainly right. But what they gonna do about it? They probably gonna treat it where if anybody's, it's gonna be like say if you bombing my trying to destroy my data center, we have the right to kill your ass. They gonna be on that type of shit. Oh yeah, you try to break my server or my hard drive, I'm gonna break your damn neck, break a skull. Yeah, and they gonna have the right to do so, cause they're the ones who making the laws. The earth was given to the hands of the wicked, and that be Esau, even so-called white man. But he's not white. He's red. And he's a baby dick sucking Jewish faggot nigger Amalek, and I'm talking about the elite.
People are going to start bombing.
The wicked elite. They're not just the elite, they're the wicked elite. You got to separate which elite. There's a righteous and there's a wicked. They're the wicked elite that rule this world.
AI data centers.
Wouldn't that be? If they don't, then he'll have someone do it, by the way.
Wouldn't that be horrible?
Yeah, false flag.
Hi, Kurt.
What was it, the thing after New Orleans flood, the government group that was supposed, that everybody said was going to put you in tents?
FEMA.
This is the new FEMA.
ICE is the new FEMA. And so let's listen to him.
Now, because of drone warfare, we have to relook at all forms of security. And the need for
Grabian, the multimedia marketplace.
The GCC region.
So I got this off that Grabian website, and they insert their little commercial over this guy talking.
But good info from him.
I can see why this guy feels insecure. He can't even stop Grabian marketplace message from interrupting him. Let's listen.
Grabian.
But now, because of drone warfare, we have to relook at all forms of security. And the need for
Grabian, the multimedia marketplace.
The GCC region to rebuild it so that it could be in a position where it's not going to be obstructed by drone warfare. So a lot of
Graybian,
many more things
the
that have to be
multimedia
underground.
marketplace.
But even here in the United States, if we're going to be building, let's say, these 1 gigawatt data centers, how do we make sure we're not protecting those $50 billion, $75 billion investments?
Graybian,
We have to
the multimedia
relook at
marketplace.
everything because of the role of drone warfare. Right now, we're looking at it internationally, but one of my concerns is, could it be a domestic terrorism using a $3,000 drone?
Graybian,
So
the
all of these
multimedia
things
marketplace.
are actually opportunities, not problems. It's going to require, as we said, trillions of dollars of capital. Governments cannot build these out alone. They don't
Graybian,
have
the multimedia
wherewithal. And
marketplace.
two, their deficits are starting to mounting, and we spend too little time talking about the U.S. deficits and other countries' deficits. So this is going to all be the role of private sector.
Since the ad came up, yeah. Let's get to the next one.
There was a time when graduation
This is the last one. They're talking about people ain't having it with this AI shit.
speeches used to be about following your dreams. Now they are about surviving the chatbot apocalypse. And Gen Z are front and center, ready to clock it. And they're not being subtle about it. It is graduation season, and across American universities this year, commencement speakers started mentioning AI, and graduates had a response. Nothing like a good old booing crowd to make the Gen Z displeasure be known. At the University of Arizona,
This is in Arizona.
former Google CEO Eric Schmidt was reportedly booed while talking about artificial intelligence and the future of innovation.
There is.
At Middle Tennessee State University, Scott Borchetta, who is the CEO of Big Machine Records, got heckled after telling students AI was rewriting entire industries and they would simply have to deal with it.
Tool. Hey, like I said, you can hear me now.
As far as graduation ceremonies go, that's just not the vibe. Nothing says congratulations on your future like a billionaire explaining that software now performs half the tasks your degree trained you for. And that's the real story here. The AI backlash is no longer theoretical. It is cultural, and increasingly it is generational. For over a decade, Silicon Valley trained itself to believe every new technology would automatically be greeted with standing ovations. Apps disrupted taxis, streaming disrupted television, social media disrupted human attention spans. They love that word, don't they? Disruption, disruptors. Each time, tech executives frame the chaos as innovation. But AI feels different because people can now see the replacement happening in real time. Graduates aren't being told AI might change work someday. They're watching entry-level work disappear. Junior coding roles are shrinking, media companies are automating copy, design departments are downsizing, studios are experimenting with AI-generated content. Even internships require AI fluency, which is corporate code for congratulations, your competition is now automated and robotic. The timing could not be worse. The post-pandemic graduate market has been deteriorating since 2023, with young workers struggling to find stable white-collar jobs. Surveys now show Gen Z's enthusiasm for AI has dropped sharply, while anger and distrust towards the technology are rising. But one recent study found nearly half of Gen Z workers admitted to resisting or undermining AI initiatives inside their companies because they fear the technology would replace them. That's an astonishing statistic if you think about it. Imagine building the most expensive technological revolution in modern history only to discover your youngest employees are quietly treating it like a workplace infection. And Gen Z, honestly, that suspicion makes perfect sense. This is a generation that grew up watching every digital promise become psychologically exhausting. Social media was supposed to connect people. Now everyone needs therapy because of Instagram face and algorithmic doom scrolling. The gig economy was supposed to create freedom. Instead, it created adults delivering burritos at midnight while listening to finance podcasts about escaping the matrix. And now AI arrives with another utopian sales pitch. Don't worry, this technology will liberate you from boring work. Except companies hear something different. We found a cheaper version of you. That's what they are hearing. That's why these commencement boos matter. Not because Gen Z is anti-technology, they use AI constantly. Many students already rely on it for studying, brainstorming, coding, job applications, which is a conversation in itself. But my point is this. The issue is trust. Young people no longer believe disruption automatically benefits them. And culturally, you can already see the reaction spreading everywhere. Remember, I told you last week, film cameras are back, flip phones are back, vinyl is back. Going analog has become less of an aesthetic trend and more of an act of resistance. So when executives stand on stage and enthusiastically announce that AI is the future, graduates are increasingly responding with one question. Okay, but whose future? The world.
Yeah. And hopefully it's gonna result in people going after these people. Because that's all the videos, yeah, the last, let me see. From what's this? Kim Iverson, and then this one from Jimmy Dore. They were basically talking about how people Gonna end up attacking data centers or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And it's gonna come down to that point, from attacking data centers to even attacking these people, these tech people, these politicians, all these people that's in rulership. It serves them right. I don't give a fuck. I just want this shit come to an end completely. But 2 Ezra chapter 15 verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. They don't care about if you got billions and dollars and all this shit. People's like, fuck you, nigga. You fucking our lives up. You taking our jobs. You taking our food. You taking our water. You taking all the basic necessities of our life. You taking away our joy, our happiness, our shit. Anyway, these people are gonna get fed up with these niggas. And they showing that right now by saying what they say. And soon they gonna be doing whatever they gonna do. And the course of that action shall stand in their power. They're not gonna regard the rulers of this world. Fuck no. They're gonna be coming after people and heads gonna be rolling. Yep. And I'm not gonna be a part of it. I'm only preaching about it. But hey, these devils gonna come after the preachers, the true teachers, the preachers and teachers of Yahweh Shema Shah, the prophets. And you believers too, so seek the Lord by seeking the prophets. And take heed what they say and try to build a spiritual mental relationship with Yahweh Shema Shah by praying Yahweh Shema Shah, praising Yahweh Shema Shah, worship Yahweh Shema Shah, fearing Yahweh Shema Shah, and repenting to Yahweh Shema Shah. To all the men out there pushing this truth and none but the truth in the name, spirit, and the power of Yahweh Shema Shah. Keep on preach, keep on teach, keep your faith and trust strong, Yahweh Shema Shah, stay humble. And for you few sisters out there taking heed, keep your faith and trust strong, Yahweh Shema Shah. Stay humble, stay in order with your man. If you ain't got no man, stay in order, Yahweh Shema Shah. Peace and bless to the hopeful elect and all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Shalom.